have done this, and it's kind of different right now because yesterday was the Eastern Orthodox Church Easter. So we had this national holiday. I did not work yesterday, even though I did publish an article about Taproot because I'm a workaholic and I'm a nerd. And hello there, this is last week on BitcoinTakeover.com. It was supposed to be this week on BitcoinTakeover.com, but I missed yesterday. I did not stream. But today I'm going to be playing much more Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, while talking about what's going on with Taproot, what's going on with Lightning adoption, because there's a lot happening in that field. And last time when I played this, I think I left off just at the beginning of this opposite world that I can enter with the mirror. It's like getting teleported into this upside down world. And I'm supposed to go to one of the 7 dungeons and solve some sort of mystery about 7 sisters and stuff like that. I don't remember much of the story. I'm just here for the fun and to talk about Bitcoin. And I'm going to go in opposite modes, so I'm going to reverse the order of the articles that I published last week on the BitcoinTakeover.com website. If this is your first time watching and listening and you're on YouTube or Twitch, make sure that you subscribe and that you like this video because it helps. And without further ado, let's talk about Taproot because it's one of the most important upgrades that Bitcoin has undergone in its history, and not necessarily just because it makes such a radical difference in terms of improvements. It's not a big deal, it's nothing contentious, it's nothing to make people argue too much, but it did make people argue about activation. And if you have been following the news about Bitcoin in the last year and a half, I guess, you could have seen a lot of discussions about how they should proceed. And I think in this past year we have had lots of debates about lot equals true or false. I think lot equals false was a way through which they would go forward with developers activating, and this approach that they have chosen is actually very interesting because in the Bitcoin network you don't have any centralizing authority. So if somebody wants to make an upgrade via soft fork, it's pretty difficult to make everyone agree to run it at the same time. So if the developers step in and say you should activate this and you should upgrade to this client, there should be some sort of methodology and some sort of procedure that we should follow. And I think they went for this activation method of using the miners just because it's the most convenient and the miners are permanently active and they are very much interested. They have a stake in the network, and we can also pressure them because they are a service provider. They provide security in exchange for block rewards. And you know, we have taken this route where until August, I think it's August 11th, there are going to be 6 different epochs, EPOCHs, and we're going to have them. I'm just looking for extra lives and rupees here, don't mind me. We're going to have them, and the first one is already over. These eras or epochs consist of 2016 blocks, and after 2016 blocks we need to have at least 90% of miners who signal activation for Taproot. If this doesn't happen in 6 epochs, 6 consecutive attempts until August, then we're going to have to upgrade via UASF, user activated soft fork, but that seems very unlikely because nobody is really against Taproot. It's just a matter of making everyone activate and update their client to the latest version which was released. And so far, after this first trial that we have witnessed, we have seen that 25% of the hash rate is in favor. The first mining pool, which has I guess 3 or 4% of total hash rate, was Slush Pool, which also happens to be the first ever mining pool in the world, acknowledged by Satoshi in 2010. And much more than that, I have had an interview with Slush on the same week, so it's exciting, you know, to be on this side of hardcore Bitcoiners and talk to such people who have been around and believed in the system for such a long time. It's, you know, it's kind of humbling from my perspective to talk to these people and learn from them. And as I said, there are 3 major mining pools that have signaled Taproot activation. The first one was Slush Pool, the second one was Foundry USA, and the third one is F2 Pool. I was about to say 2FA or something. No, it's F2 Pool, which is also the biggest, I think. And the 3 of them combined have about 25% of hash rate. So this is a promising start, given that we have only seen like 16% of the activation attempts. There are going to be more, and I hope that you can hear me and you don't have any issues, because I would hate it if I found out that I have been talking to myself without allowing anyone to hear what I'm saying. That's possibly one of the most annoying situations that you can have when you stream and you're trying to focus on a video game, you're trying to focus on your ideas, and also try to look at all of these technical difficulties that can emerge if you're not paying too much attention. So let me check the YouTube feed and see if everything is okay. Content, live, it's streaming. There are 2 people watching, so hello people watching. I'm happy that you are watching this and you're listening about what's going on with Bitcoin and also this incredible soft fork. Hi Quantum, it's good to have you. So basically, what is Taproot? Because I have spoken about it. I have spoken about its activation, but I didn't mention what it actually is. But I need to keep... Oh, hi Pittsburgh Hodler. You were also part of the Bitcoin Takeover podcast. It's good to also see you in the chat. I hope your bags are fine. I hope your Patreon account is doing okay. So as I was saying, Taproot is actually an upgrade which is the first step towards changing the signatures that Bitcoin uses. So traditionally, as created by Satoshi Nakamoto, Bitcoin uses ECDSA, which stands for elliptic curve digital signature aggregation, if I'm not mistaken. So ECDSA, elliptic curve digital signature. I'm not sure what the A stands for. It might be aggregation. If there's someone who knows better, you should correct me in the chat. Yeah, so I've wasted my time grinding for hearts when I could just walk into this cave and replenish my health. I'm an idiot. So I'm supposed to go up there and start the first dungeon. And basically Taproot is a way to integrate Schnorr signatures, which in 2009 were still patented and could not be used in an open source project without actually making it less open source, and that was not the purpose. And right now we can use the Schnorr signatures, which are a lot more elegant, and basically the plan with Bitcoin is, since we are going to have small blocks, instead of increasing their size, we're going to make them more efficient, and we are going to find ways to put more transactions into them as opposed to increasing their size to fit more transactions. It's kind of the opposite approach. It's very smart if you ask me. It's definitely the harder way out, but it's the price you must pay to guarantee that the project is going to remain decentralized. And as I was saying, there were many debates and attempts to activate Taproot in the last couple of years. And the way that we go forward today is the result of lots of months of negotiation, and you know, is supposed to not put too much power in the hands of either party. In the Bitcoin ecosystem, you have the users, you have the miners, and you have the sovereign nodes, and you have Oh, you also have the developers, sorry. So you have developers nodes for basically users who validate their own transactions. And you also have the miners. And you're not supposed to put too much power in the hands of any of these parts. And you're supposed to make all of them matter at the same time. It's very delicate, but I think that the way that we go forward is the best of compromises. And the fact that we are pushing miners, because I'm not sure if it's in their best interest, but with Taproot we're going to get a lot more privacy on the main chain. And if you're going to do blockchain analysis after Taproot, you're going to see that lots of types of transactions look exactly the same. So a multi-sig or a lightning channel opening is going to look just like a regular transaction. So not only that it improves the privacy, but it also brings some efficiency. The transactions like multi-sigs and lightning channel openings and all of these complex contract options that you can do are going to be a lot more affordable and smaller, so they're not going to occupy a lot of space on everyone's full node. And I think this is one of the most exciting times that we have seen in the last more than 5 years in Bitcoin, simply because the last time there was an upgrade there was SegWit, and SegWit was more of a response to a contentious attack of big blockers. So it wasn't as community driven. Actually, it was community driven, but it wasn't as consensual. There wasn't as much deliberation for it. It was just users who got mad and said, we're going to activate this on our nodes by ourselves. And I think that was great. But this is definitely the more interesting of situations. And I'll be paying a lot of attention to the events to see what's going on. This is like a maze. I'm supposed to make my way there. This is not the way, obviously. So I don't think there is an intersection with that other part that I'm supposed to take. Okay, so let me get back. If there's any Zelda expert who can guide me through this adventure, I will appreciate it. I did not play this game as a kid, and when I played it as a teenager, I did not really have much patience for it. So this is where I came from. There are so many small parts in this game that radically change your experience, like this kind of bush maze, a maze made of bushes and you're not allowed to see what's going on. Yeah, there's definitely no way to advance from here, so I'm supposed to take another path, I guess. I know that the arrow shows me that I should go this way, but it shows me the direction, not necessarily that it's the only way to get in. Have I decided what I will be playing next after finishing Zelda? I don't know, something that I enjoy. Something that's not necessarily easy, but something that makes me want to play more. I can take suggestions. I would definitely play some sort of Final Fantasy game because nowadays I'm kind of hooked on them. Kind of addicted to... Right now I'm playing Final Fantasy VII, and let me tell you that it's such a ride. It's incredible. I would not categorize it as some sort of JRPG, because that's the genre from which it comes, but it's a lot like a late 90s point-and-click adventure and has so many different elements to it. It's very hard to put a label on it and say this is definitely from this genre. You're new here, aren't you? Did you come here looking for the power of gold? Sure, why not? Well, you're too late. It will obey only the first person who touches it. The man who last claimed the power of gold wished for for this world, I blah blah blah. Yes, I came here because greed for the golden power, and look what happened to me. To restore the golden land, the person worthy of the golden power must defeat the man who created this place. Until that time, I'm stuck with this bizarre shape. But what a mischievous thing to leave lying around, the power of gold. Triforce. Okay, it's teasing me that I'm supposed to beat the game and defeat the villain who was the last one to use that power. Let me see what's behind this. Would I consider playing a Pokemon game? I don't have any Pokemon games right now, but yeah, sure. If I have enough money to buy one, I guess I would try Sword and Shield, because that's kind of the standard right now for Pokemon games on the Switch. It's where it's at. Even though I heard it's not so great, it's just like a remake of an older game. So they did not put too much effort into it, which kind of sucks. It's quite an expensive game. It's like €60 here in Romania. It's not like Nintendo is going to give out any discounts for it, because it's very popular and very much in demand. And there was even a dungeon crawler, like Pokemon something, in which you play with 2 Pokemons. And that one is very childish, and it's still overpriced, just because it's a Pokemon game. I have no idea how I just died. Let me rewind. So I was doing perfectly fine here with full health, and then I touched some foe, and I started losing it. Now I gotta pay more attention. Okay, so I was talking about Taproot. You can find the article in the description. I'm not sure if this streaming service that I'm using right now, which is called Restream, is actually ordering the descriptions the way that I am. I have seen that the formatting tends to get quite ugly, and it puts text on top of, you know, it doesn't put any spaces or tabs or anything that I type in. It's just a huge wall of text, even though it's supposed to be different columns for everything. But if you look very hard, you're going to find it, and you can read the article, and I'm going to keep on writing more articles about Taproot because it's very exciting. It's the most significant event in Bitcoin right now, except for maybe the fact that the community is doing more for the Lightning Network, and right now we are opening lots of channels and we're putting a lot of work into creating alternative routes, and I think that's incredible. I think that it's what should be done, because there used to be a time in Lightning history in 2019 when people were building stuff but nobody was using it. Now it's time for people to start opening channels and prepare the infrastructure for lots of cool applications that are coming. And if you don't know what the Lightning Network is, then it's a second layer. It's where the fun happens. Basically, it brings scalability and speed and decentralization and privacy. It's a lot more private than the base layer transactions. The transactions don't appear on a public ledger, so you have to do a lot of analysis to find out who sent what and when. And it's just as fast as, actually a lot faster than credit card transactions like Visa and stuff. So it's definitely the future of Bitcoin. And we are opening channels nowadays. If you are a member of the community, you should look for Czino, C-Z-I-N-O. He's a German guy who has created the Rings of Fire Telegram channel. If you're interested, you should look for it on Twitter, and you're going to get an invitation. There are more than 200 people right now who open channels with one another, and it's just so exciting to feel like you're part of this movement. I don't know how I should proceed here because it's stuck. I can't get around it. Maybe I would play a little better if I didn't try to talk about Bitcoin at the same time, but that's the challenge of this show, so I'm sorry to disappoint. I will not be great at either. I'm gonna try to compromise all the time and try to play the game like a pro while talking about Bitcoin like someone who knows what he's saying. And there are always trade-offs, so don't kill me if I say something stupid or if I randomly die. Okay, so I wrote an article about Taproot. I'm gonna write more. I've already mentioned this. The first wave of activation has failed yesterday because only 25% of the hash rate has agreed to upgrade and signaled Taproot. Oh my god, I need some sort of armor because these enemies are taking me down in 3 hits. Okay, so how do I get there? I suppose I'm supposed to fall somewhere or move some sort of rock. I'm supposed to advance past this point, and I have been stuck for quite a few minutes. I mean, if I die in game, please don't kill me in real life. That's what I meant. I know I said if I die, don't kill me, but you get it eventually, okay? It sounds stupid if you take it out of context. So also last week, I was supposed to do this yesterday actually, but it was the Romanian Easter and I spent time with my family and I decided not to work on this just because I wanted to take a day off. So instead of this week on bitcointakeover.com, it's kind of last week. But, you know, I'm gonna do this again on Sunday. Hope you don't mind it. I just had a day off. It doesn't mean that I'm changing anything significant. I'm gonna try to stick to the Sunday schedule, and if I can't do it, if anything happens, I will try to do it on the next day when I can, but try to remain on Sundays. And I'm a fucking moron. Sorry for swearing, sorry for cussing. You can put an R rating next to what I'm doing here, but I could just go left. So I have been going around looking for different routes, but it was this simple. I could only go left and not deal with this maze anymore. Okay. So I'm supposed to go to the right to enter the dungeon. There isn't anything that I can do here. Very strange. So the entrance to the dungeon is there. It's kind of teasing me at this point. I'm supposed to go around. Unless I can move this. This looks odd. Like it's out of place. No, I can't. Hi Jedi 2 billion? Jedi 2 billion. Hi. I guess I'm fine. What about you? This is kind of pointless, isn't it? Unless, yeah, I can do this. I'm Kiki the monkey Kiki. I love rupees more than anything. Can you spare me 10 rupees? Go away, beggar. Never give him anything because it's most likely a scam. But you know, this is a video game, it's not real life. So usually when people ask you for money and they follow you, something interesting is going to happen regardless. So let's try. Kiki, good choice. I will accompany you for a while. Not dubious at all. Let me get back to this moment because I'm not happy that I got hit. I was reading the comments and did not pay attention to what was happening on the screen, but I appreciate that I have comments, by the way. I feel like the show is growing, so if you're watching this, please like, please subscribe, please help me grow, and look in the description because I have lots of cool stuff, lots of articles that you should be reading. I'm trying to cover the most important events that happen in Bitcoin every week and try to write articles about them. That's kind of what I do, it's my shtick. I also play video games because I like them, but I'm not a pro at playing video games, so please don't have exaggerated expectations. Right, so I think I found my way to the temple. This is where the first dungeon is supposed to start. Except that it doesn't. There's something missing. Something is wrong here. And I need to find out what. Nothing to press. I suppose I could try to use the mirror, which is an object which takes me to the parallel world. So let's see what happens. So on the map I'm here, and it does look like I'm close to a temple. So I got in. And what if I try to use the... Wait. If I use the mirror, it's going to take me to the beginning. So let me get back. Maybe. No, I can't. So the whole point here is to use the mirror to go back in time. Or to the parallel dimension. I'm not sure anymore what the story is. Now let's see what happens. One of the most annoying things in video games when after roaming through a maze you finally see the exit but you can't reach it because you are separated by just a simple wall. Oh yeah, that sucks. So, have I been here before? Because it sure looks like it. It looks as if I have visited this dungeon before. And I do recall it, so I'm not sure what I should do. I can storm to the end of it to see if there's anything else I'm missing. But I did play this before. It was last week. No, this really sucks. I don't want to get hit. Let me cheat. This is more like it. I got stuck in a wall when I tried to get across. I'll just wait. I'll try to be a nice guy. Okay. Well, I very much appreciate the fact that you come here every week, Quantum. I hope that you also take advantage of the opportunity to learn something new that you wouldn't have otherwise, because you're obviously here for the video game, but the fact that I don't know, it's your choice really, but I talk about Bitcoin because I have an audience on Twitter of people who read my articles, and I figured out that I'm kind of terrible at promoting my own work. I spend a lot of time writing and producing content, and then I realized that it doesn't really reach its full potential because I don't know how to promote it. So the fact that you come here, you know, I appreciate it. Okay, so obviously I have been here before, so I have opened this chest. I'm supposed to go to the red point. Let me use the mirror once again to get to the beginning of the dungeon. Return here. And I honestly don't know what I should be doing with this. I have this inventory of items. Maybe I should use the Book of Medora once again to open something. It's very strange. Okay, so why does it do this like twice? It's like it's stuck in a loop. So I guess I'm supposed to do something else around here to open the gate. I got here, it's closed. Reading the book does not help. So let's see what else is around here. It's nice to use this sword as you get that long range attack, but you only get this long range attack as long as you have full health. I guess it'd be better if I used arrows, but arrows get drained and consumed after a while, so not the best way to go forward. This long range attack with the sword is basically infinite. But you know what is not infinite? It's Bitcoin, because there are only 21 million that will ever get created, and right now we have like 18 million. And for the rest of time until 2140, so for the next 119 years, we are going to mine only 2.5 million Bitcoins, I think, so not too much. Scarcity is about to kick in at some point. And if supply and demand play their game, we might be in for some nice surprises. Okay, so I can walk into circles. I guess this is comforting to know that I can do this. I found the monkey. I guess I'm supposed to take the monkey to the temple. Let's see if she follows me. I gave her the rupees. Or him, or it, or whatever it considers itself to be. Please follow me, monkey. Come with me. If you give me 100 rupees, I'll open the entrance for you. Obviously. I have 329, so okay. I'm supposed to be doing this. It kind of sucks though, you know, there was a different temple here on the parallel timeline. It's gonna be interesting to see how the design is different from the original. Not necessarily the original, but you get what I'm saying. I say a lot of stupid stuff because I try to play at the same time. I'm not sure what this button does. So, Quantum says, also I prefer coming here instead of any other video game stream because I enjoy the way that you organize your stream. What you do and what you say, it's kind of unique in a certain way. Thank you, I'm trying, you know. I'm really trying. I've closed it by accident, obviously. Okay, so that was an easier kill. I have two possibilities of going forward. I don't know what these buttons do, but I guess I will find out. Actually, the door in the middle is open now, so I should go there. Let's see what happens around here, around these parts. So this requires a big key that I'm supposed to get, and I take either the left or the right. So I suppose if I press this one, it opens the door behind me. That's the whole point. I suppose it might have consequences in this room, which I hope it doesn't. So this ray tracks me. I found a key. It better not be the private key, because otherwise I can steal somebody's bitcoins. Contextual joke. Okay, so the second article that I wrote this week, and it was a big deal for myself, was that I interviewed Slush, who is the creator of the world's first mining pool for Bitcoin. He was acknowledged by Satoshi in 2010, and he has been around for longer than 10 years. He's quite a veteran and he understands all of the intricacies of this industry. And he's also the co-creator actually, because he has done it in collaboration, of the first ever Bitcoin hardware wallet, the Trezor. And he's the CEO of Satoshi Labs. So he does a lot of stuff in this field. And the fact that he spent an hour and a half talking with me. Okay, so let me read this before I continue. Bitcoin, can you hear me? It's me, Zelda. I'm locked in Turtle Rock on top of Death Mountain. I know you are doing your best, but please hurry. Okay, this was a bit uncalled for, but I suppose it gives me some context about what I'm supposed to be doing, so I don't lose my focus. I know that this whole adventure is about saving the princess and nothing else. So I don't know why I went to that room. It doesn't seem to have helped me in any way. The two doors were closed, but I suppose after I go to the middle one and I unlock it with the key, I'm gonna find out more. So I was talking about Slush. His real name is Marek Palatinus, but nobody really knows him by that name in this space. And the most exciting venture that he's running right now is called Tropic Square. And he's trying to build the world's first... Let me backtrack on this. The world's first open source secure element chip. And security chips right now are not very open source. You don't know much about what's going inside of them, what's going on. And he's trying to build something that is going to revolutionize a lot of industries if it succeeds. And I think that's one of the most exciting developments in Bitcoin hardware right now. Actually, I cannot think of any that is just as exciting. And naturally, since he's also the CEO of Trezor, which makes hardware wallets, there's going to be a new Trezor hardware wallet coming next year, or possibly late in December this year, but most likely it will be available to the public next year. I'm supposed to find a hammer to nail down these, so I don't know what I should do right now, since I don't have the hammer. Maybe it's in that treasure chest, so how do I get back? This is how. So I pushed it sideways. And what do I have here? Oh, it's another key. No, I did not mean to fall off and lose a heart. Please take me back. Okay, so I can jump here, which is useful. I walk this way, talk this way. So the floor is gonna crumble in front of me and behind me as I walk, so I'm supposed to take these skulls and... Oh no, not this. This. I need a key for this door. This game has a very interesting system of teasing you. You got a compass. Basically it foreshadows what's about to happen. But it does make it very obvious. So you know that you're supposed to get something at some point. But it's not holding you by the hand to show you how you should proceed. Oh, sweet. Another key. Uh-huh. I suppose that there is something else in this room. An arrow. This is not very useful, game. Please help me. I need more assistance. I need to find that hammer. I need to hammer down the turtles. Speaking of turtles, there's going to be a new Nintendo Switch game with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And it's gonna be very much in the spirit of the Turtles in Time arcade. And I kind of look forward to that. I remember the original arcade when I was a kid and I was going to these places where they would have arcades. So I can't get in here. Not on this side, not on that other side. I guess I need to do something else. Yep, not helping. So I'm gonna go back once again. Wait, I have only one key and I have two doors that I can unlock. I can either unlock this one at the bottom or that one on the left. Was this the best of choices? I don't think so. This is the only way I can bypass this kind of attack. I only got rupees, which doesn't really help. And this wall can be destroyed with a bomb, so let's see what happens. Okay, so I'm supposed to be talking about Bitcoin here, so let me get back to my earlier discussion about Slush, who is an OG cypherpunk. Ah, this was dumb. I should not have done this. And if you listen to the interview, which is on Spotify and Apple Music, and there's also a free resource that you can use to listen to the interview, you're going to find out more about how these developments in security are made. And you're going to find out more about the spirit of open sourcing everything. And I think it's really exciting. You should definitely check it out. Slush is not quite the most charismatic person ever. Okay, so I cannot go back to the point where I could choose to go to that other side. No, get back. I was late. I'm such an idiot. I'm not supposed to wait after I pick it up. But I still need to get here. And to get here I need a different key. And to get a different key I need to explore more of this dungeon. I don't think I can get keys here though. So this might mean that I'm stuck. You can feel that the game got slightly more difficult after this point. Because you have all of these traps that usually before this dungeon were helping you, but right now are just taking life points instead of providing you some sort of advantage. But I'm pretty sure that if I hit this, and I just did, something is going to happen. And if I walk in this room, yeah, this dungeon likes to play with this whole concept of hitting switches. Maybe that there's a button or a key around here. Yeah, and I'm supposed to move one of these statues on the button. You know, I might look like a complete moron sometimes when I play this, but when there's a simple fix for a simple situation, I find the solution. Okay, so they are mirroring my moves. And I don't want to face them. So how do I beat them? This is fun. Maybe I can drop bombs and I leave them and I make them move into bombs. Yeah, great job. He was not hurt. Let me rewind for a bit. I was the one who got hurt. So how do I proceed with this one? They cannot be harmed by bombs. Can they be harmed by boomerangs? Oh, so I can only attack them from behind. Okay, that's the shtick. That's the secret. I was reading the comments and I messed up. Okay, so let me read the comments before I proceed. In what circumstances did you had your first clash with Bitcoin? I was no, actually the first time when I read about it was in 2013. And I was just a university student, and I guess it was 2012 or something, because I was in my second year. But anyway, I just read a meme on a website that's called 9gag, and that was when I first got exposed. Oh, this is the easiest way to kill them. How did I not consider this? And after that, I went to Paris as an exchange student, and one of the professors made me do a presentation about Bitcoin. And I was not very much aware of what's going on. I mostly did it as a school project and I moved on. You know, when you get a homework and you do it and you forget about all the notions that you were taught just because it's school and it's not supposed to be fun. And that's exactly what I did in 2016. No, it was 2015. And then I read about it again in 2016 because I was reading more about dark webs to complete my thesis. And I was spending some time on the darknet, and I did notice that people were using Bitcoin, and at the time I just thought it was not for me, you know? I was not interested in buying anything that was listed there. I think all the money that I had at the time in my bank account could only buy like half a Bitcoin, but I wish I bought it anyway. And there was also the scandal that was leaked in 2016 about one of the developers named Mike Hearn, and because of him my involvement was delayed by another year. So obviously I'm not going to defeat him like this. I need to shoot the arrow and then move him towards the arrow. Okay. And I did not buy any Bitcoin until 2017, which is a shame, you know. I bought, I think, in April or something, so I have been involved financially since April 2017. That makes about 4 years. But it was also the only time when I had money of my own and I started earning money and I could make savings and stuff. Until then it was just living off my parents' money, trying to pay the rent. Okay, so let's see what else is happening here. But I have been following the space earlier, so in some regards I guess I'm a newbie, because I was not around like the OGs from 2010 and 2011. But I very much enjoy reading and learning. So I suppose I'm supposed to do something to this monster. Yeah, so an arrow to the eye was the answer. You could see that there was something wrong with this wall, so this is also the only way forward, so okay. Let's see what else is in store. This dungeon is very interesting. Now it's playing with darkness once again. But I can't go on because I don't have the hammer. So I'm supposed to get another item that I can use to nail these obstacles. Maybe I can use a boomerang to hit the switch diagonally. Doesn't seem to work so well. No, it hits against the ladder. So I can't do anything here for now. It kind of sucks. But maybe there's another way to get into this room? I don't know, I'm speculating. Or maybe it has something to do with this switch, but if I press it, I'll not be able to return. Okay, so let me get back. There's a lot of backtracking involved in these games. The dungeons are always a challenge. Now that I know that I can hit these with arrows in the eyes, I'm gonna try it more often in different places, see what's going on. What happens if I hit this? I think the door closes. Is that it? No. There's something more to it. Maybe that right now if I get back, I will see a different situation. I need to try. So right now it's red. I don't recall which color it was when I came in. I think it was blue. But if it doesn't work like this, I'm gonna try once again. See if I make any significant change to the alignment of these obstacles. I go down once again. It's the same, so if it's red, these are locked. Let's see what happens when it turns blue. If it's uncorrelated, then I guess I'll have to explore a different section of the dungeon. You know, I've read about people who play this game every year and beat it, and they know their way around. I'm not one of them, so... I did try to beat it in different times of my life, but I never took the time to get to the end of it. I think there was one dungeon where I got stuck and I never tried again. I don't think it was this one. So... Is there any way I can manipulate time or something? I'm not quite sure how I should proceed right now because I need a different item. I need the hammer to nail down the obstacles. And since I don't have it, I can't really go forward. So I have another question in the chat. It says, have you ever heard of Sega Genesis Classics for Nintendo Switch? If I heard about it, just give me a second, I'll be back. This is Sega Mega Drive Classics for Nintendo Switch. I bought it like a few months ago. I never opened it, it's still sealed with the plastic layer. I guess I can play Streets of Rage or Altered Beast or something that's on this cartridge. I never got to it, so I should. I know that there are lots of great games in there. I just never took the time to explore what's on it. It was not expensive at all. I think I paid the equivalent of $20. It was on sale because that's why I picked it up. Sometimes I look at games and I only buy them in physical copies when they are very affordable, when they are discounted. I tend to be cheap about this. I like to pay the smallest price possible. So when I can pay the smallest price possible, I get them and then they sit on the shelf for a few months until I find enough time to play them. I know it sounds scandalous to some people that I have games that I delay and I keep on hold until I get to actually play them. But if you're judging me for this, just look at your Steam library or something, or what else do you have except for Steam? There's also GOG, there's also Epic Game Store, is that what it's called? There are lots of gamers who have more games than actual time to play. I think it's kind of the norm. Okay, so before entering this dungeon, I think it's recommended to get the hammer power-up. And I'm not sure how I'm supposed to get the hammer power-up. I almost said Hummer instead of hammer. Okay, I fell down here. And there is definitely something going on. I don't recall being in this room before. So let's see what's inside this treasure chest. It's another key. This game is teasing me so much. What's going on here? I can bomb the wall to see what's inside. Quantum on the chat says that he has a lot of Steam Origin, Uplay and Epic Games titles in his library, but there is only one thing: he lacks enough time to play all of them. Yeah, I can relate. I remember there was a time in my life when I had lots of time to play, but only a couple of games. And for that I would spend a lot of time in the games that I actually had, and try to explore every secret and try to unlock everything inside, and even play with mods and cheats and stuff like that. I would find out cheats from video game magazines and then try them on. Right now I try to just go through the main story. I don't get too crazy about exploration, even though I do enjoy, if I have the time for it, I do enjoy to look for all the secrets. I hope that this is where I get the hammer. I'm gonna be so disappointed if I don't. Oh, come on. I got a map and the compass. Maybe that there's an indicator about where I can get the hammer. I have been teased so much with obstacles. It's still interesting that, look, I got to get in this room, which I could only observe from down there. So if there's anyone in the chat who knows where I can find a hammer, I would really much appreciate if you give me a hint. So it's going to be very slow right here, and very fast afterwards. Right. So where do we go now? Are these walls broken? Can I put bombs to open something else? No. I can bomb the floor. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I lost a life. Or a heart, not a life. So much for exploration. So I'm back. And right now I'm gonna go to that one door which I did not open because I did not have the key. Where was the switch? Here. So while I go to that door, let me talk to you about that very important event in the history of the Bitcoin Takeover website, because it received the kind of acknowledgement which I appreciate, and I love it when it happens, when somebody else who has been around for longer and is very well known and has a good reputation kind of acknowledges your work. I think that's really nice when it happens. And the website got listed on the list of Bitcoin resources from lopp.net, LOP, that's made by Jameson Lopp. I've met him in person in Berlin in 2019. He's a lot nicer in person than he is on Twitter. And he agreed to list the podcast, the website, and the YouTube channel on his list of resources, so I can brag about being in 3 different places on his very cited list, because a lot of people when they start exploring the space, they get recommended that one list that was made by him. And the fact that I get to have resources in 3 different sections, that's really great. I appreciate it. So I also wrote an article about that. It was kind of a humble brag to mention that, you know, I kind of made it in terms of recognition. I'm still waiting to make it financially, but I suppose that's also going to come. So I feel like I should say more about my interview with Slush, who is a really great guy. You should check him out, because I mentioned at the beginning of this video that Slush Pool, which is the mining pool that he created, was the first one to signal the activation of Taproot. You know, because they care about what's going on. They're not selfish assholes, they are here for the long game. I hate it when this happens. That was pretty close. I've also replenished, almost, I need 2 more arrows. Almost replenished my arrows, but how do I get to that section which required a key? It was not this way. It's also not up there. Yeah, and this was a bad idea. I need to get back and press the switch once again. Press the switch while playing the Nintendo Switch. This music can get kind of tiring after a while. You listen to it too much, it starts getting annoying. So I need to get up there. But how do I do it? Because I need to press something to take these down. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to enter through a different door. What happens if I try to put a bomb here? I fall down. And I get to this room. And what's going on in this room? Let's see. This is promising. I go down. And I get to this room in the middle, and what's inside? Ah, there's another key. It can get cryptic in regards to all of these pitfalls that you're taking. They got me cornered. Yeah, I'm not happy with the outcome. I just want to not get hit. So I retain this attack. So let me rewind as long as it takes to avoid this. You know, it's so frustrating to know that somewhere in this dungeon there's supposed to be a door that I unlock with a key and I'm going to get the hammer, but I don't know exactly where. Okay, at least I can move this statue to get in the middle. So I've been here before. I can see that there's a treasure chest there. So how do I get there? I'm supposed to bomb the wall that's next to it. I'm still back in this room, which I hate. How do I defend myself against these skulls? Is there any way that I can proceed here without getting hit? I know it's a newbie question. I know that I'm not very professional about this and I'm using emulation tools to basically rewind. Not just basically, but essentially. But I would very much like to find out if there's an exit from getting plummeted when I get to this point. Actually, I think it was a bad idea to come here in the first place, so let me backtrack some more. It really sucks when you have one of these dungeons and you don't know exactly where you're supposed to be going. So you end up wasting every possibility. Come down here. So I cannot push that statue, I guess. I have to get in this way. I maxed out my arrows. Also have a map so I can see which rooms I did not explore. As far as I can see, I have been in every place except for 2 rooms. This does not even work anymore. Quantum on the chat says, I remember back in elementary school when I was playing Flash player games in my browser, and some of the games had a MIDI type sound that just kept looping for 3 or 4 seconds forever. I can relate to that. It's terrible when it happens, but that's how it is. You know, video game developers don't seem to care much about music. Sometimes they get loops from apps like GarageBand and they just play them over and over. Basically, there are free samples that they can get from an audio editing software. And they don't do anything to these, they just take them and put them in a context. And that's admirable, but at the same time, when you deal with masterpieces like Zelda or Mario games, or what else is there? When you also deal with... Oh, I'm screwed here. There's no way for me to get down there without getting hit. So let me rewind once again. Final Fantasy, I think, has one of the best soundtracks. It's really incredible. I think up to their 10th game, before they started going downhill with everything in regards to production. But I've been playing Final Fantasy VII and I just find myself humming the tunes randomly around the house. And I think that's the ultimate sign that something is of very high quality. When you hum the tune as you walk around the house. It just proves that it's efficient, it works, you like it. It's stuck in your mind forever, or at least for a few weeks. Yeah, I cannot jump there. Let me look at the map. There's definitely somewhere in this wall. Let me rewind. It's annoying to go in circles. Yeah, so I'm supposed to get up here and break the wall on the left. How was I going there? If it's not this way, I'm gonna rage quit or something. Wait, I'm back to where... Wait. This was a bad idea. If I take the right... I'm not sure if I can call myself an audiophile, but I love music, and I love it when it's really good, and hate it when it sucks, so... This is one of those situations where I love the game, but at the same time the music can be a pain to listen to because it loops over and over. And it makes me wish there was more to it, like at least to be able to change the track. But we're talking about 1991. At the time, this was a lot more advanced than most games. So I'm being excessively nosy about it. So I've tried breaking these walls, there's nothing behind them. You know what's funny about these games? I constantly get the feeling that I was better at them, at playing them when I was a kid. And it feels like the older I get, the more impatient I get, and I don't know, it seems like I lose focus. So I'm back to where I wanted to be in the first place. I finally found my way. And I'm supposed to break the wall on the left. By the way, this is streaming on YouTube and Twitter and Twitch. So if you're watching on any of these platforms, I just want you to know that the only chat that I'm actively checking out right now is the one on YouTube, no offense to anyone. Oh, so another key. That's supposed to open another door, but which door? How do I get there? After I'm done with this dungeon, I think the stream is over. And it's kind of interesting, you know, this whole idea that I've spent an hour and a half finding my way to this dungeon and then trying to find my way in it, around it. On one hand it feels like exploring, but on the other hand it's annoying. I don't feel like I'm making serious progress. Oh, so I've tried this before. It's a bad idea. Time to move on. Only the yellow ones work. It's still very strange that these two doors do nothing. At least not yet. It's always teasing you. It might be that the reason for which I love Prince of Persia trilogy so much. They did a great job in all matters, graphic, soundtrack, gameplay, story, everything was as it should. The soundtrack, for instance, was, I think, the most memorable thing about a game. A mix of traditional music, Arabic music, and rock to make you feel great. In terms of Prince of Persia, I think the one that I liked the most when I was a teenager was Warrior Within, even though I think I've played Sands of Time a lot more, but I was 13 or 14 when it came out, and it felt so badass and liberating, and it felt like the first one, Sands of Time. Yeah, it wasn't the first one in the series, but it was the first modern one. That one felt like something that was made for children, and it was very polite and nice, and it was trying to not get overly aggressive in parts. Whereas the second one was the exact opposite. It broke all the boundaries in terms of being aimed at late teenagers and adults, and I was not a late teenager yet, I was 13. Yet it felt so different and new from everything that I tried up to that point. In my teenage years, I think Warrior Within is up there with games like Grand Theft Auto Vice City in terms of how much I enjoyed them. And also something else which I used to enjoy was called Painkiller. It was a shooter. It was very dark, very... Right now I know that it's kind of a Doom clone and it has these serious Sam elements. But at the time it felt so different from everything else and so edgy. It was not trying to fit into the general landscape, the general picture. It was brave enough to take a different path. And the story is not very special, but it's the gameplay that makes it stand out. So there was another door that I could not open. I know what's about to happen here, I'm not happy. There's something missing. So I'm missing the hammer power-up, which prevents me from advancing. And I'm trying to backtrack to that one door which I did not open, and I remember very clearly that I forgot to open it because I did not have a key. It sucks to be going in circles for 30 minutes or more. But at least I got there and I picked up the special item, which turned out to be... Oh, okay, so I know what I'm supposed to do now. I have to push that button or the switch wherever I can and then get back here. No, let me walk this way. No, please. I want to rewind this. I love this button mashing when I can do it. Okay, so the way ahead is being blocked. No, not anymore. And I get back here and I go through the other door, which opens the way. Now that I figure out it's so simple, I feel like a moron. I cannot go in this direction, which means that this is the only one. Yeah, this is where the floor is crumbling. And this is the door which I had not opened. I have these dinosaurs who are shooting... Actually, they're not dinosaurs, they're dragons. They're shooting flames. So let me get the lamp. I got bombs, okay. I already had bombs. Come on, give me that power up. I got another key, which takes me somewhere. It's kind of a shame that I don't get to see the secrets on the map, but I can break this wall. Let's see what's inside. The hammer, finally, magic hammer, thank you. Thank you. I have been searching for you for over an hour. At the same time, you know, when you finally discover what you should be finding in the dungeon, it feels very rewarding. One full hour of just aimlessly looking around, not knowing where I'm supposed to go, not knowing if this is the right path. Look at me now. Getting to the end of the dungeon. Feeling confident like I haven't been in the past few minutes. So now I know that if I take this route, I'm gonna be okay. And I can even take down these turtles. Screw you, turtle. Oh, come on. This felt cheap. Agape Bogdana, I'm trying to do this every week and speak in English, so this is more of a presentation for my website, which is in English, and most of my audience is English speaking, so I'm very sorry that I will be speaking in English and not making you happy about, you know, doing a Romanian gaming show, but it's different from my previous live streams that were in Romanian. This sucks. I'm stuck. Once again. No, not this way. Anyway, if you were around, I guess you can rewind, you can watch the first few minutes, because I've spoken about the articles which I wrote on the Bitcoin Takeover website this week, or last week. And I was supposed to do this live stream yesterday, but as you know, it was the Romanian Easter. And I did my best to take the day off and spend it with my family and do activities that we Romanians do, like eating too much and drinking and arguing about politics and all of that. The only way to kill them is with arrows. No! I missed like 4 times in a row. At least I get my arrows back. I think the game is being generous with supplies, but not very generous with health points. Oh yeah, that's what Romanian family reunions are like. But I'm not complaining, I like it. When I was a kid I used to feel embarrassed, but now I can't imagine my life without them. As I get older, I just like traditions more. Now I sound like an old person, but I'm not even 30. I'm about to beat the dungeon, and I feel so proud of myself because I figured out how to get to the hammer part. I feel like this whole level is teasing you. The design of it is definitely interesting. I need to light up one of these lamps. I'm trying to not get hit, so I retain this special attack, this ranged attack, which is kind of the same as in the first game, the first Zelda on the NES. This is possibly the toughest enemy that I've faced until now. It takes so many hits. Oh yeah, when you talk politics with your family. I mean, it's supposed to get violent and aggressive, and people are supposed to get drunk and pretend that they're always right. That's how it goes. So there's a block that I'm supposed to be pushing from here. This one. Interesting. Oh yeah, I definitely saw this from a different perspective before. But I'm supposed to not get hit. So I rewind as many times as it takes. Whoever designed this level deserves some sort of award. It's so well made. At the same time, it kind of teases you. And look at the damage that you take on the enemy. I'm gonna die soon, but let me see if I can also attack him with the hammer. Yeah, so I'm not sure about his weaknesses, but you can definitely hit him in the mask with the hammer or with the bombs. I suppose that with bombs you have a better strategy, so I'm gonna stick to that one. So Bogdan, are you from the Bitcoin community, or how did you get here? I need some sort of strategy for this. Okay. It's not an easy fight because I have no idea how to hit him, honestly. Maybe that the tail is his weakness. I'm literally new here. I have no idea what you're playing for what. Can you say 2 words about what's happening here? So basically every week I try to do a live stream in which I talk about my latest articles on the Bitcoin Takeover website, which I created. And it's a way to promote my content while playing video games. It's like a merging between two audiences. There are people who enjoy watching video games and people who enjoy listening to Bitcoin content. I'm trying to bring them together in some way. And I know that there are lots of video gamers who are kind of instinct, how should I put it? Like, the instinct effectively because they use so many virtual currencies in games. They figure out very easily how Bitcoin works and they understand it. So I think that there's definitely a convergence there. So no, I cannot destroy him by hitting the tail. I'm supposed to be hitting his face. Yeah, so I smashed both sides of his mask. I think this is kind of an accomplishment. I can still do better. What I like about this game is that it gives you no hints, so you have to figure out so much. So when he hits with the tail, you have to be in the middle. I've smashed the mask. I think that's my least favorite sound in this game. When you're low on health. Let me try to see if I can get him with bombs from this point on. Okay, so I smashed the mask. I'm such a casual gamer. So right now he's attacking both with his tail. And with fire. And the only way to really destroy him is with bombs. Let's see if I can avoid this tail attack. No, because it comes that way, so what if I go this way? Yeah, it follows me, there is no pattern. You know, I'm also sorry for sucking at this game, so just in case you were wondering, I'm not feeling good when I lose. And this time I really had no chance. Let's see if I get close to him like this. Does he still hit? Yeah, he does. How do I organize this situation? I suppose it's a bad idea to go on with bombs after this point, and you can use arrows or something. Because you're supposed to be standing in front of him to hit him in the face. But if you put bombs, you cannot be close to the bombs because you also get hit by the explosion. So I need to find a different way to attack him. He's not getting hurt if I hit him with arrows. The sword doesn't seem to work. Or does it? I'm supposed to aim for that jewel. Yeah, this is the weak spot. It's not the head, it's the jewel. It looks like an emerald or something. And I think I got a bit greedy at this point with hitting him. It's also a tough fight, so... You don't get much room to move around. He comes close to you. But I beat him. It's kind of a shameful victory because I know I could do better. And what's this? It looks like Ethereum. I'm not sure if I want to pick it up. But just like Link always does, it puts it above his head like this. There's no other way. And why this extremely retro game? Because I've always wanted to beat Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. It's on every list about the best games of all times. I just never beat it. Because of you I can escape from the clutches of the evil monsters, thank you. This world used to be the golden land where the Triforce was hidden, and because Ganon, the boss of thieves, without it the world was transformed. I'm sure he's intending to conquer even our light world after building his power here. He's trying to open a larger gate between worlds near the castle using our powers. The gate is not open completely yet. If we, 7 maidens, come together, we can break the barrier around Ganon's hiding place. I will tell you where the other girls are held. I believe you will destroy Ganon. Yeah, so I beat 1 dungeon out of 7. I will return to my original format that time. Do you understand? No, I'm stupid. Oh, it just loops the same. Now I feel sorry for doing this. I can hear you louder in my right ear than the left one, kinda annoying. Now that you're here and you have mentioned this, let me fix it. So, what about now? Is it just as loud in both ears? I need to know. I haven't had anyone to do this kind of testing with for OBS, so if you're willing to give me feedback on... No? So, what about now? Is it louder? I just made it louder. Check, check, check. It's supposed to be very loud. If it doesn't work, then I guess I'll leave it like this. Out of curiosity, where is a bit more? This is the maximum that I can do. It's the loudest. Anyway, I was curious to know if the video game sound is just in one ear or both ears. Do you understand? Yes. May the way of the hero lead to the Triforce. This was interesting, like a very well designed dungeon. It was quite a challenge given that I had no prior knowledge, except for the fact that I'm supposed to get the hammer. You know, what I regret about this game is that it has no RPG elements, so you have no reason to kill them outside of just making your way easier. So you don't get any experience points from killing these monsters. This is not Final Fantasy or Chrono Trigger or... what's the other one? Something of fire. But I still need to rewind because I'm a moron and I mess up. Still like 100% in left and 80% in right. In my software it's the same. So I don't know why it's like that. I need to make my way back where I came from, and I'm supposed to be looking for the second dungeon. Oh, so I can do them in any order. This was just the first one that I was supposed to do to get that message, and now I can go anywhere and do these dungeons in any order possible. I'm gonna go to the second one and then I'm gonna end the stream. It has been almost 2 hours. I don't think anyone is willing to listen to me for more than 2 hours. And this is gonna remain uploaded on YouTube. Possibly also Twitter, I'm not sure. On Twitch, it's gonna be there for like a week and then it gets deleted. I'm not interested in becoming a Twitch partner or anything, I just want to have the content there just in case there are people interested in watching this kind of video game content during which someone talked about Bitcoin, which I don't think it's the first time someone does this. I do recall that there used to be some guys from CoinDesk who were playing Rocket League on livestream. But I don't think they did it consistently for a longer period of time. I'm here for a long time, not a good time. Which is the exact opposite of what these cam models are saying. Usually when you find an enemy, it's a good sign. It means that you haven't been here before. I'm supposed to make my way out of this maze. Anyway, if you have any questions about Bitcoin, write them in the comments and I will read them and try to answer the best that I can. Once again, I'm running in circles here and I promised I would only go on for as long as it takes to reach the second dungeon. Okay, so there are only 2 ways where I can go. There's nothing that I can do in this place. But there is no path. Oh, so this is the right way out of here. It's been quite an interesting maze. I suppose that if finishing the other dungeons will take me 2 hours, this will take me 6 weeks to complete. If I only play during live stream. But I'm up for the challenge. Not sure if people are willing to watch the entire Let's Play. But I've always wanted to beat Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. So I take the left after I go down first. I'm gonna need all of these rupees because, as you saw, when I got inside that dungeon I was asked 100 by a random monkey I met along the way, so having money in this game sometimes is like an entrance fee to get to the next section. There isn't much grinding that you must do, but you still need to make money. I have a big curiosity. I didn't hear you talking about trading and hodl and all of that making money stuff. It's because I'm not very much concerned with that part of Bitcoin. I don't consider these people to be involved in Bitcoin. They are just speculators. They come here when the market looks nice and they can make money, and they leave afterwards. I'm here, you know, to talk about education, about principles and fundamentals. I suppose that you could trade according to fundamentals, but on the long term, not something like you see something happening with the volume and something happening with prices temporarily, and you know, people have this psychology where they follow trends and they think that if something happens, there's going to be a pattern that's going to occur. It's very strange, really. I think most of this trading that happenings relies on human psychology. 100 rupees for 30 bombs, just 100 rupees. Please buy, mister. I don't need your bombs. But he looks like an elephant. You don't have to sell Bitcoin for dollars. I'm not gonna tell you what to do with your money. There are lots of people out there who will be like, oh yeah, you should hodl, or oh no, you should sell at that price. It's your money, that's the whole point. That's the idea of sovereignty. It's kind of silly that people say you should do this with your Bitcoin. If it's free money for anyone, then you should be doing whatever you want because it's yours. It's nobody else's. It's nobody else's business what you do with it. So I'm trying to stay neutral. Of course, I tend to favor that side of the hodl, but I'm not giving financial advice to anyone. When's a good time to buy into Bitcoin? Whenever you figure out how it works and you understand it. I get that question a lot. Is it too late to get in? Can I buy in? Like, they ask me this and I'm like, what's your purpose here? Do you want to just make a few bucks, or do you think on the long term? Do you understand how any of this works? Because if you don't, and if you don't want to understand, so it's fine if you buy and you have no idea how it works, but if you stay a newbie even after you buy and you look at all of these chart people who draw lines and try to forecast like it's the weather or something. They watch clouds and they speculate whether or not it's going to rain. I suppose I have been around long enough to make fun of these people, but they just come and go. So they're not around forever. They are only around during the good times. And right now we are living very interesting times because we have hyperinflation in the United States, and they're not going to acknowledge it. They're going to say that there's no inflation, but there are signs of it, and there's a lot of money printing. And there is also a lot happening in terms of technology upgrades, and there's Taproot. If you watch the first section of this video, you're going to see my discussion about Taproot and how it was a challenge for this whole philosophy of decentralization in regards to how it should be activated. And the first attempt, which happened this weekend, has failed because only 25% of miners agreed to activate it. Only 3 mining pools have signaled Taproot so far, but there are going to be 6 attempts in total until August 11th. Swamp of Evil, no entrance, no escape. No, I'm not going there. So we have multiple chances to activate with miners. If we don't activate with miners, then it will get activated by users, but it's a lot more difficult because it takes a larger number of nodes who are sovereign and do whatever they want to activate Taproot. But I think that the idea of it, that Bitcoin is going to have more advanced smart contracts and more efficient transaction aggregation, so they're going to take a lot less block space. You know, if you've been in Bitcoin, you know this debate about increasing the block size to fit more transactions in the blocks. But the approach is to maintain the blocks low in size and efficient, so you can put more transactions in a small block instead of putting the same size transactions in bigger blocks. And I think this is very efficient. It's like really evolving. Instead of relying on the same approach to digital signatures and everything that goes on when making a transaction, there's some actual innovation that's going on. And Schnorr signatures are going to be huge for Bitcoin, for privacy and for scalability also, although the benefits for scalability are kind of minimal. But it's important that you get all of these features while not compromising the decentralization. So I think that's the most essential part. And it's why I believe in the Bitcoin project, because it's so good at staying decentralized and the community really understands why it's important. And there is no one party that's in charge of the network, and nobody's really trying to get in charge at this point. They just want to get involved, but at the same time have deliberation with miners and developers and node runners so that everything is consensual. If there's a change and everyone agrees with it. If there's not that 90% majority, then no change is going to be made ever. And I think that's the healthiest approach. Anyway, I got to the dungeon. And this is it. I'm gonna continue next week with this. Actually, not next week, on Sunday, because the idea with this was to do it on every Sunday, but yesterday was Easter, so I took the day off. I did it today. I'm gonna be back on Sunday and play this dungeon. So thank you for watching. If you have any more questions, you can send them to me on Twitter. I'm not sure if I remembered to put the social media links in the description, but I'm gonna save here. Yeah, don't worry, Quantum, I'm finishing right now. I'm gonna be back on Sunday at 9 PM Romania's time, 8 PM Central European time. I'm going to save. And this has been it. It only took me 2 hours to finish one dungeon. So it's gonna be interesting to see how long this one takes. So Quantum and Bogdan, I very, very much appreciate that you participated. Let me read your comments before I go. So You can remain here for the fundamentals of Bitcoin, but why say no to some good profit and life-changing? Well, you know, I'm never going to own any life-changing amount, so I'm not concerned with that. I'm much more concerned with the idea of sound money that cannot be censored or confiscated by governments. I think that's going to change the way that we function as a society, and that's going to be a lot more accountable, and that will make governments more efficient. I very much look forward to that, because I think we got to a point where we are heading towards authoritarianism, and we're going to have a lot more dictatorships, because people tend to trust government way too much, and we have gotten to another point where we're gonna have a lot of inflation, which is going to hurt a lot of people. If you want to buy a house today in Romania, just look at the prices. They went up disproportionately with the wages, so you can say that the minimum wage has gone up and there's an inflation rate, but the housing market has gone up above that rate. Like, if you look for an apartment in Bucharest, you're gonna have a hard time. You're gonna think, okay, so it's gonna take me like 30-40 years to pay for this, and it's not even something very, you know, fancy. It's pretty modest in the way that it looks, and in the surface and the overall conditions, it's nothing special. What's the question, Bogdan? If I can say no to profits, I mean, I don't have that much, so it doesn't make much of a difference to me. It's not like I can move and buy my own island, or I can build my own citadel, or I can buy a Lamborghini. I think I'm gonna need like $1 million in price to be able to afford that, but I'm not here for that, so I'm not very much interested. But if you're watching this, then I gotta give you a heads up that I translated a book about Bitcoin in Romanian, and the translation is complete. It's gonna get published by Humanitas, which is one of the biggest publishing houses in Romania. And I'm very excited about that one. And I hope that it gets published in 2 months or something. It just needs to get edited by the editors at Humanitas, and after that we do some back and forth, and after that it can get published finally and get delivered in libraries all across the country. And it's going to be the first book about Bitcoin that gets distributed and published by a huge printing house. So it's gonna be all over the country. If there is demand for it, I suppose that they will print a lot of books. And I'm happy that I got to help with this and contribute and do my part. My main focus about it has been that I want something for my parents to read, because they don't speak good English and they don't have the patience to read multiple sources. So I picked one book which presents as many points of view as possible to make them understand the point and the mission of Bitcoin. And after this gets published, I'm gonna promote it more heavily. I might even give away a couple of books. Not a few, because I'm not that rich to buy a lot of books and give them away. But, you know, stick around. I'm gonna have more news about that when they have news about that. I finished my part of the work. Now it's up to them to publish it. Why not hustle to accumulate so your life can change? I mean, I'm working, but you know, if I did this 7 or 8 years ago, maybe that it would be life-changing, but it's not, so I gotta get used to that. I'm never going to be filthy rich, but I'm fine. I'm better off than 90% of this planet, so I'm not being selfish or anything. I'm not looking for the high life or whatever. I eat 3 times a day, I have a place to sleep. I can afford the living expenses. I think that's more than enough. And it's quite funny that right now 5 people are watching, even though there were usually 4 on YouTube during the stream. So this is the point where I'm going to end the stream, and I'm gonna be back on Sunday at 8 p.m. CET, Central European Time, or 9 p.m. Romania's time. No, I'm saying it's too late to get filthy rich, because if you want to buy like, I think a life-changing amount can be like 10 bitcoins or something. And if you want to buy 10 bitcoins today, good luck doing that in Romania with the wages that we have. I think even 1 bitcoin can be life-changing in Romania. But that can at most buy you a nice house and a car, so that's not really life-changing. Raise a couple of children and see if you can afford living. I know. I will at some point. I want children. I want to have them. I want to raise them, but it's getting very hard. And part of me thinks that, you know, it's kind of on purpose. There is this global agenda to depopulate and reduce the amount of children being brought into the world. They say there are way too many. They're brainwashing women to not have children anymore and stuff like that. Why tourism only to BTC? You can swing altcoins and trade and stuff. No, I'm not going to do that. That's the road to ruin. Unless you get lucky, you're going to lose most likely with that one. I think I've tried it in 2017. I got wrecked big time. Maybe that I got greedy or something, but it did not work out for me. I'm fine with it, you know. Okay, I'm not going to be filthy rich and I can live with it. Anyway, it's 11:15 p.m. which is way too late for me to be talking so loud because I still live in a Romanian apartment with neighbors and I'm pretty sure that they have work tomorrow, so I'm not gonna be talking this loud anymore. You know, I don't give up because my point is not to get filthy rich. My point is to just live a decent life and fulfill my other purposes. I don't think that money is a goal. It's more of a means to an end, not the whole point of life. And the fact that I speak about Bitcoin, which is a different form of money, which is non-governmental and cannot be censored or confiscated, I mean, that's only part of the human rights dimension in which I believe, but it's not, to me, it's not a way to get rich. I don't think about it as such. Anyway, we can talk more about this on Sunday. If you stick around, I'll see you then. I don't think anyone has the patience to watch this anymore.